I want to show you something that's going to mess with your head for the next 10 minutes. Look at the guy's face. Like, really look. This is what the Monopoly guy actually looks like. There's no monocle, never has been one. Still no monocle. Still no monocle. But I bet money you remember a monocle. We all do. Millions of us, same memories, same false detail. Why? Because memory isn't what you think it is. And once you understand what it actually is, your entire relationship to your past changes. So I want to talk about something that's actually been bugging me. And it connects to everything I've written about in the Lucid Dreamer and Anamnesis. But it starts with something simple, right? We all remember the Monopoly guy with a monocle, at least I did. You know who I'm talking about, right? Rich guy, top hat, fancy monocle. Except he never had one. And I went looking. I found the 1936 version, the 1954 version, 1980 version, and the one I have at home. And none of them have a monocle. But millions of us remember it, regardless. And what that told me was something crucial about how memory actually works and how it's completely different from your mind, right? Your nervous system isn't storing facts. It's actually storing frequency. So when you think about the Monopoly guy, you're not pulling up an image. You're accessing a feeling. That feeling of wealth that I don't have, of elite, of exclusion. And your brain, which is loyal, which is designed to protect you, it goes looking for the perfect symbol that matches that feeling. Monocle, done. But here's what actually threw a wrench into this whole system for me. We all synthesize the same false symbol. Not because we all saw it, but because we're all operating from the same inherited frequency, the same cultural code about what wealth looks like. Which means your memory of your own life is probably not any more accurate than our collective memory of the monocle that never existed. So what is memory really then? Well, memory is your nervous system's reconstruction of what it felt like when something happened. Not what happened, what it felt. And if your nervous system is in survival mode when it happened, if you were scared, contracted, fragmented, then your memory is a reconstruction made by that scared, contracted, fragmented version of you. It's an imprint, a pattern, a program. It's not a record, it's not a fact. It's a frequency your nervous system was transmitting in the moment you encoded it. And here's the thing about patterns, they don't care about accuracy, they care about recognition. Your nervous system learned to dance. When this happens, I do that. And now it's dancing automatically, whether the original threat still exists or not. So you're walking around carrying a pattern that was installed by a version of you who was scared. And then you're calling it truth. And I've spent years, literally years, trying to teach people how to reprogram their subconscious, how to change their patterns, how to break free from loops. And I thought the problem was the story, the trauma narrative, the past that wouldn't let go. But I was looking at the wrong thing. The problem wasn't the story. The problem was that people were trying to heal something that was never accurate to begin with. In the Lucid Dreamer, I talk about something called pattern memory. And this is exactly what it is. Your nervous system doesn't store individual events. It stores the pattern beneath them, right? The underlying frequency. You had a betrayal. Okay. But your nervous system didn't just file that away one moment. It created a pattern, a prediction engine. When you trust, you get hurt. When you invest, you get abandoned. When you're vulnerable, you get used. And now that pattern is running, and it's underneath every relationship, every opening, every moment you consider being seen. It's not a memory of what happened. It's a program your nervous system installed based on what it felt when it happened. And the thing about patterns is, they don't care about accuracy. They don't care if that betrayal was one person's choice on one bad day. The pattern encoded the frequency of betrayal. And now your nervous system is constantly scanning for anything that matches that frequency. The Monopoly guy and the monocle is proof of this. We're not remembering what we saw, we're remembering what we felt. And then we dress that feeling up in a symbol. And here's something that's even wilder. Most of what you think is your memory, it's not even yours, it's inherited. It's stories you were told, it's photographs you've seen 1,000 times until they become your memory. It's cultural symbols and collective frequencies. In Anamnesis, there's this whole exploration of how we carry memory from sources we didn't know we were operating. Right? Collective memory, ancestral memory, The pattern your lineage encoded and passed down like a song nobody remembers learning. So when you remember your childhood, what are you actually remembering? The feelings your parents described? The narratives they repeated? The way they told the story of what happened? Which is their memory, colored by their nervous system state, not yours. You inherited their version of your own life. And the Mandela Effect proves this. Most of us never saw the original 1935 Monopoly box, but we remember the Monocle anyway. Why? Because we absorbed a cultural memory, a collective symbol. It overwrote the actual image because it matched the frequency we all recognize. We're all carrying memories that aren't even real, but they're running us regardless. So here's what this means for you and me. If memory is just a pattern, not a recording, if it was encoded when you weren't conscious, if most of it isn't even yours, then what are you actually healing when you spend years trying to fix your past? You're trying to change a story that your nervous system wrote in a moment of fear, but the story was never the problem. Here's what I've come to understand, and this is in the Lucid Dreamer. There's a difference between memory and mind. Memory is the program. Mind is the observer. Your memory runs on autopilot. It's encoded. It's a pattern. Your nervous system is executing it whether you're aware of it or not. But your mind, the actual consciousness that's aware right now, listening to these words, feeling this moment, your mind is the only thing that can see the pattern without being caught in it. This is the observer effect. The moment you become conscious of the pattern, something has to shift. Because consciousness itself changes the whole field. You can't think your way out of pattern memory. You can't analyze a betrayal loop into accuracy. But the moment you witness it, the moment you see it running without judgment, the nervous system gets permission to recalibrate. That's the dreamer's eye. That's what the lucid dreamer teaches. The observer that can see what's happening without being run by what's happening. So here's something that completely turned my understanding of everything upside down. Right? There is no past. There is no future. Everything that's ever happened in the now, in the present moment. Time is a construct that we made up, but the actual experience, always now. Right? So when you're carrying a traumatic memory, what you're actually carrying is a pattern that your nervous system is running right now, in this present moment. The past doesn't exist anymore. It only exists as code that your nervous system is executing now, today. And if you're not conscious today, if you're running on autopilot, reacting, executing, then you're reinforcing that pattern. You're making it more real. But the moment you become conscious, the moment you witness what's happening, the program begins to shift. Not because you change the story, but because consciousness changes the frequency. So this is what I need you to understand. You are always reprogramming your subconscious, right now, in this moment. You don't get to opt out. If you're unconscious, you're reprogramming the same pattern deeper. If you're conscious, you're installing something new. It's that simple. That's it. That's the game. And most of us are unconscious most of the time. So we're reinforcing the same frequency over and over and over. We're making the old pattern stronger. And then we wonder why nothing changes. But the moment you become present, actually aware, actually here, you stop reinforcing the old code. You start transmitting a new signal. The quantum weaver explores this, right? The field doesn't respond to what you say. It responds to what you are, to the frequency you're transmitting, to the signal beneath your voice. You are constantly weaving your world through the frequency you're in. The only choice is whether you're doing it consciously or unconsciously. So here's the question I want to leave you with. Am I conscious right now? Or am I running a program that was installed when I wasn't paying attention? Because whatever I'm not aware of, whatever I'm doing on autopilot, that's what's becoming my next pattern. That's what's becoming my next life. The memory you're building right now in this moment, while you're watching this video, are you here for it? Or are you running? Because that choice, that one choice, is the only thing that's actually going to change anything. Not healing your past, not rewriting your story, but becoming conscious of your present. That's where the freedom is. That's the whole game.